Hello, my name is Wallet Thompson. This is my presentation on Bloodstained Curse of the Moon. Mechanics. Bloodstained Curse of the Moon is a very mechanically rich game. At first it seems simple. You have your classic jump, you have your classic attack, and you have sub-weapons. Just like any regular Castlevania games. Um, and most of the complexity would usually come from the level design and how you overcome the challenges there and fighting against the weird controls. But this game adds a whole new layer with its there's actually 8 playable characters, but 4 in the base game. Each character has their own stats, their own sub weapons, and their own health. But you can swap between them freely, so it gives you a lot more choice in how you want to play and how you overcome obstacles. Dynamics. Because of this quick switching and the health difference, it leads certain characters to be almost in their own different roles within your team structure. Me personally, I had one character with very low health, but had the only healing sub weapon in the game be my personal healer throughout the entire playthrough, as well as a pretty solid damage dealer. Aesthetic. This game is difficult. There are very many times that I have closed out of applications because I didn't want to play anymore because I fell off a cliff and those insta kill you. And also they have enemies that send you away with knockback to make you fall off those cliffs more. But the frustration really turns into reward once you get it down and you learn the patterns. The goal. This game isn't very story rich. It's a pretty simple game for the most part. Like in classic Castlevania fashion, your main goal is to go to the big bad demon man up top and seal him away. And this game is a pretty simple but does an effective job of showing that. Who made this game? The main director was Hiroki Miyazawa. He was the main director on this project. The producer was Koji Igarashi, also known as the father of the Metroidvania genre, and it was produced by NT Creates. This game is a pretty interesting story, but we'll get to that later. What stands out? This game is very simple, but it takes a lot of the old mechanics that kind of work and refreshes them in a way that makes it satisfying in the same vein as the old school Castlevanias do, while also providing a really cool art style as well as almost ingenious level design. Was it successful? This game had a 6-month development cycle and sold over 600,000 copies. So it was pretty successful. It was also not even supposed to be made in the beginning. It was a Kickstarter goal. And what does this game teach us? It teaches us that, even though Konami won't pick up Castlevania anymore for any games, people, if they have the love for their series, they'll do it anyway. Iga pretty much founded a lot of what modern Castlevania was at this point, and he kind of just took it on his own and ran with it. And here's some questions. Are rage games bad if that's the intent? Pretty simple one. If a game is meant to make you upset, would you say that the game's bad for doing so? Where do you define the line between fair challenge and BS? I went through this a lot. I think this game is pretty fair, but I feel like it's not fair for everyone. Or someone may have some different lines between this, and it's kind of dancing around those lines. And finally, is it sometimes good to use things in games that don't work to evoke a certain emotion? This question comes from Koji Igarashi, who said that he hated the way modern Castlevania controlled with its jumps. But even then, this game still has those same jumps to evoke that same emotion of modern Castlevania. I still had my fair share of rage from it, but I get what they were trying to go for. And here's why we're excited. There's only one here. I couldn't get the direct interview, but yeah. Thank you for listening to my presentation. I'm so I like I went way over 4 minutes.